Welcome to Cigar. Hey everybody, welcome to Music and Cigars with John and JR. I'm JR McNeely.
I'm John Spittle. The previous episode was just a setup to what we're about and what we're doing. This episode will hopefully give you a better insight to who we are professionally and personally, and a little more in depth about us and what we do moving forward. So I'm going to read a little of JR's bio here. So J.R. McNeely could play the guitar pretty well by the age of 12, and he decided he wanted to be a rock star. At the age of 18, he got a job at a recording studio in Southern California as a janitor/gopher, so he could record a proper demo for his band after business hours. After a few years of working at the studio, he learned what all the knobs and buttons did and gadgets, and he realized that he liked being in the studio much more than being on stage. So he decided to give up the pursuit of becoming a rock star and focus on becoming a professional recording engineer and mixer. By the age of 21, JR had recorded and mixed his first full-length album. Since that time, he has worked on hundreds of albums that have sold many millions of copies worldwide. His mixes have been streamed hundreds of millions of times, and his work has earned RIAA Certified Gold and Platinum Awards, GMA Dove Awards, loads of #1 radio singles, and garnered 7 Grammy nominations and 3 Grammy wins. A few artists he's mixed for over the years include Under Oath, Reliant K, Toby Mac, Petra, Amberlin, MXPX, Francisca Battistelli, Hawk Nelson, DC Talk, 1,000 Foot Crutch, Audio Adrenaline, Jeremy Camp, Julie and Buddy Miller, Bastel Goodman, Restless Heart, Acceptance, John Elevante, Natalie Grant, Will Owsley, J.J. Cale, and many others. Although he is not a professional working musician, JR still loves to play music. In 2011, he started a YouTube channel that features his one-man band recordings of covers and a few original songs where he plays all the instruments and sings, which is amazing, by the way. If you'd like to hear and see that stuff, it could be found on YouTube by searching J.R. McNeely Music. Anyway, not only that, he's an amazing friend, good guy, and he doesn't give himself enough credit as a musician. Very, very talented guy. So I'm going to ask you a question or two.
All
right. Favorite cigar?
Oh man. For a while, it's been the Avo Classic No. 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Churchill, it's a natural wrapper, and it's just got a flavor that I love. So let me introduce you a little bit. I'm gonna read John's bio.
If you have to.
All right, so John Spittle. John Spittle started playing drums at the age of 5. His father was a drummer and taught John the basics to get him going. By the time John was 10, he would sit in with his dad's bands. By the time he was 15, he was playing club gigs, having to spend breaks outside because he was too young to be inside the club.
There's stories there.
That's awesome. At 16, he joined a rock band in Southern California in hopes of one day becoming a rock star, just like all of us. As time went on, he began doing recording sessions in the LA area and also playing drums on jingles and commercials as well. In 1996, John packed up his family and moved to Nashville, Tennessee. Which is
Yeehaw.
Yeah, yeehaw. Since moving to Nashville, John has played drums, touring, and/or recording with artists such as Paul Brandt, Sarah Evans, Chris Cagle, Aaron Tippin, Tammy Cochran, Kelly Kofi, Matt King, Marty Brown, Neil Cody. And for the past 16 years, John's main gig has been playing drums with country music icon Trace Adkins.
Yep.
So drumming for Trace has taken John all around the world on tour. He's played arenas and legendary venues, recorded in some of the best studios in Nashville, performed live on television shows like The Conan O'Brien Show, The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, Craig Ferguson, Ellen DeGeneres, The Today Show, the New York City New Year's Eve thing, whatever they call it, Emerald Live, the ACM Awards, CMT Awards, Celebrity Apprentice, which was probably kind of cool,
Yep.
the Grand Ole Opry, man, and many more. Why do you even hang out with me?
Because you're cool.
Good Lord. John also records drums for people. He's got a studio at his house, and you want John to play drums on your record, hit him up. He's the man. Great drum tracks.
Thank you.
All right, so let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Who's your favorite drummer?
So I would have to mix three together,
Okay,
but all-time favorite, John Bonham, rock and roll,
good choice.
for rock drummers. But I grew up with, my dad listened to Chicago, Bad Company, and Led Zeppelin.
Nice.
So Danny Serafin from Chicago, Simon Kirk, and John Bonham was what I
Wow.
cut my teeth on.
There you go. That's some legends right there.
So, question for you, JR. While you were reading my bio, you could relate to my father being a musician. How is that a commonplace for both of us?
Well, my dad was a country artist in the mid 60s until about early 1970. And he had linked up with a guy named Faber Robinson out in Southern California, where we lived. And they ended up starting a small studio, recording studio. My dad became a recording engineer and producer, and he was my biggest influence for sure. I mean, you know, I'm still his biggest fan. He made some records and produced a lot of things, and it was really the catalyst for me. When I was a kid, I literally would sit underneath the console as he was mixing, and I'd be playing with Hot Wheels cars and that sort of thing. And so yeah, I mean, there was always a guitar around our house, you know, always. And I think I picked up the first one when I was like 2 and I could barely hold it, you know, bash the thing and whatnot. But my dad taught me my first 3 chords.
Oh, cool. And what were those chords?
A, D, and G. Actually,
you go.
A7, D, and G.
There you go. You got a country song.
There you go, exactly. All right. So let me ask you, what is your favorite cigar?
I would have to say the Perdomo Maduro 30 is my all-time favorite.
That is a good stick.
It's a great cigar
Really good
for me, for my palate. I love it. Yep. And I guess my turn to ask you a question. So, who's your favorite bass player?
Well, it really comes down to 2 guys,
Okay.
similar to you. Paul McCartney is probably the greatest bass player on earth. I mean, the most melodic player. You know, he's such a brilliant musician. And so I was a big Beatles fan growing up, and then I discovered the band Rush. You know, because I was like, wow, if Geddy Lee can do that, I want to do that too. So I consider myself a bass player first and foremost, even though on these things that we're doing right now, I'm mostly playing guitar, but I love playing bass.
But you started guitar first.
I did. I started,
Yeah.
well, I actually started playing drums first, which is the craziest thing.
I'm glad you quit that because I'd be out of work.
I don't think so. So yeah, I mean, my mom and dad bought me a little snare drum when I was, I don't know, 8 years old or something, and I beat on that thing. But you know, I never had a full kit until later. But there was, like I said earlier, there was always a guitar around our house, and it was just kind of seemed natural. I just picked the thing up and just loved playing it.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Awesome.
All right. So let me ask you, since you've been playing with Trace Adkins for so long, do you have, or what is your favorite memory of playing with Trace, or favorite gig or best gig maybe?
Man, there's a ton.
I know they keep happening too.
For being with him that long. I came up with Trace when he was on the rise, so we got to do a lot of really cool things. I mean, playing Carnegie Hall, I mean, that was amazing.
Again, why do you even hang out with me? I don't get it.
We got to play Carnegie Hall. I think that was a really cool thing. But man, for me, honestly, it's pretty simple. I got to play my hometown Ventura. Always dreamed of playing that stage. When I was a kid, I saw Billy Squier and Journey, the Beach Boys. I saw everybody there.
Right.
You know, big,
That is so awesome.
dirt racetrack
That is
thing.
so cool.
And so getting to go there and do that was probably my favorite.
That's excellent. Good answer. All right.
All right. So now I know you're a mix engineer by trade, but you're also a talented musician. And you used to play with the Queen tribute, and you've done live stuff yourself. What was your best live gig experience that you?
Oh man. Well, with the Queen gig, probably the very first one. I got a call from an old friend, Mark Martell, and he's doing this ultimate Queen celebration thing,
And he's amazing.
yeah, incredible. So he called me one day, and their bass player was living in Canada and was having some problems with his visa, and they had a show booked at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center, and he called up and said, "Hey, is there any way you could sub for this gig?" And I was like, "Yeah, that'd be great." Queen was actually the very first concert I ever went to when I was 10, and it changed my life. But anyway, so I spent some time learning the songs and flew up to New York and had a proper audition, I guess, the day before the gig.
Oh, wow.
So it was a bit stressful. But we played in this venue, New Jersey Performing Arts Center. It felt like the Royal Albert Hall, man. I mean, it was just this massive place. And walking out on that stage and seeing all those people and just experiencing that was just incredible. Because, I mean, I'd played some pretty good shows and stuff like that, but I'd never played in that type of venue,
Right.
And so that one was pretty amazing. And, I'd have to go with that.
Oh, that's awesome. And then I got one more. These are back to back. How about your best studio gig? If you had to pick one. I know there's many.
Oh, man. Well, I'll just tell you one offhand that comes to mind is I got to work a day with Mutt Lange and Shania Twain. And it was on a television project. I'd done a lot of audio for video for TV shows. They'd throw these live concerts. And just getting to spend a day with them, especially him, standing next to me at the console, and we both got headphones on, and he's singing background vocals and doing, yeah. And I hear that voice that I've heard, on the Cars and Def Leppard and all these things. And I mean, I'm getting goosebumps right now talking about it, And he was such a nice guy. I mean, it was just a great day. That one, I'll say that one for now.
Oh, that's
There's
cool.
a bunch, but
But was it kind of like a Beavis and Butthead moment? Like going, that's like
kind of like that Chris Farley and
yeah,
Paul
that's
McCartney.
butt laying and stuff.
It was pretty surreal. All right, so John is also a big hot rod car enthusiast.
Mm-hmm.
If you could choose one hot rod or a car, money's no object. Is there one?
It's going to be one that nobody expects, unless you're a car guy,
All right.
like an old muscle car or hot rod guy. So a 1941 Willys, tubbed with a big block Chevy blower sticking out of the hood. Black.
That sounds fun.
Shifter up here. Yep, that's it.
That's cool. All right, good.
How about you? You're a big poker buff.
My,
So you love to play poker.
I do.
You have a great time doing it. If you could go, other than the mission, if you could go anywhere else, like any casino and play, where would be your favorite place you think you would want to go play?
wow. There used to be a lot of televised poker events. I think there still are, like the World Poker Tour and that sort of thing. They did an event one time, I want to say it was either in Bermuda or the Bahamas, I can't remember, but they were playing in like this huge covered thing, and they're like basically right on the beach.
Yeah.
And I mean, to me, that would just be the ultimate thing. Just sitting there with a nice cold drink and playing cards and a cigar, on the beach. That would be incredible. So there you go.
I'd join you.
All right, let me hit you with another one. Tell me a little bit about playing the Grand Ole Opry. I mean, if you're a musician and if you do anything in country music, I mean, that's Mecca. That's the thing. That's something that I've always wanted to do, but had never done.
Right.
What's that like?
Man, you got to have a bunch of reverence for that place. It's cool. First time I played there was years ago. I can't even remember the year. It was probably right around 98 or 9. And by that time, they used to surround the drums. The drums were still kind of like not supposed to be on the Opry.
Right.
But man, it is a cool experience to just think of all the people, the legends that have played that place.
Yeah.
And it's a hurry up and, I mean, for a
It's
drummer
throw and go,
especially, it's
yeah.
like you sit down, you adjust the seat of the drum throne and you play. And that's it.
Yeah.
Monitor mix is what it is. There's no sound check, you just do it. But it's just great. And what's cool about it too is I could stand side stage and with the house band, there's Eddie Bears. Legend, up there just playing along. You go to get up there and he's walking off. He's like, hey, good to see you. And get up there.
That's amazing.
It's an amazing experience to be on a stage that all those legends
That's
have been
excellent.
a part of.
Well, let's go ahead and end this for now. And
Yeah.
thank you so much for watching. Ask that you hit like and subscribe at the bottom, and
Yep.
we'll see you soon.
Sounds great.
All right.
Calling back sometimes, wishing he'd pick up again.
As John and I mentioned, we'll be making some music at the Mission Cigar and Social. Now, some of these will be live recordings, and others will be us using the Mission as a recording studio during business hours. Here's a preview of a Pink Floyd song we recently recorded with a couple of friends of ours. Full version coming soon. Stay tuned.